The Air Max, just history, no baggage. Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're running it back with some of my favorite Air Max in the Air Max collection. So if you didn't know, Nike Air was originally created by an aerospace engineer by the name of Frank Rudy. He invented the Nike Air bag, which Nike eventually joined forces with Frank Rudy and invented the very first Nike Air model called the Nike Air Tailwind. So the first Nike Air shoe, the Air Tailwind, had the airbag encapsulated throughout the midsole and was unable to be visible. In 1986, the very respected footwear designer at Nike, Tinker Hatfield, came to the executive, thought, why don't we put a window inside the side of the midsole so the consumer can see the product?
Yeah, but why not just show it? You know, it's not a bad idea to let people actually see what an airbag looks like. As a matter of fact, I've got a drawing here that actually shows what a shoe could look like with a visible window in the heel.
A lot of the people at Nike thought it wouldn't work. They thought that maybe the air bubble visible throughout the midsole might affect the way the midsole would flex. And today, on March 26, 2023, they actually released the original 1986 Air Max 1 that came out first before the 1987 Air Max 1. They had to make a change. At that time, the midsole composition that they were using was not able to handle the bigger visible air unit, so you were getting a lot of cracking throughout the midsole. Halfway through the release in 1986 and on to 1987, they switched up to the smaller airbag that we well know today, where you see the three pillars in the midsole. The original 1986 model had 4 pillars, and that is the model that was released today. So that's a fast little history on the Air Max. Over the years, there has been a lot of different Air Maxes, starting from the 1986 Air Max 1 all the way up to the newer 2023 models of the Air Max. I'm going to show you a few of my favorite Air Maxes and Air Maxes that I hope come back with proper design and proper specs that we had in the past. Starting off, I'll show you the first model, which is the Air Max 1, originally released in 1986, 1987. A great model. Not one of my favorite Air Maxes, but a great model altogether. I don't have a lot of Air Maxes in my collection anymore. I sold a lot off throughout the years of my Air Maxes. I've only kept some of the Air Maxes that I really like. I know this one's not really considered an Air Max, but it is part of the Air Max line, and that is the 1991 Air Max Structure Tri-X. Ones that I want to release, again, that I don't have in my collection anymore, would be the Air Max Burst. As you could see here, originally released, I believe it was originally released in 1992-93. I could be wrong, but we saw a few retros in the early 2000s that came out. A couple of models that I don't really like in the Air Max collection is the Air Max 97 and the Air Max 95. I'm not a big fan of those two models. I always thought they were kind of clunky. So I'll get down to some of my favorites. Obviously, the 1990 Air Max is one of my favorite Air Maxes of all time. It's one of Tinker Hatfield's best design in the Air Max collection, I believe. You got that original laser blue and the original infrared. There was also the white, pink, and purple women's version of the Air Max 90. My second favorite Air Max of all time, which is not included in the Air Max pack, or it's not part of the Air Max history, but it is a big part of the history, is the Air Max BW. In my collection, the Air Max white Persian, the Air Max black Persian. This design of this Air Max is beautiful, and they did a great job on all these retros that came out in the last couple of years. And you have the Air Max Marina. I know that overseas, in the UK, in Berlin, there is a big cult following on the Air Max BW, and I'm here for it. More colorways, the same original color blocking in any other colors. Bring it, bring more. I have an original sample pair Air Max, as you could see in a couple photos here that I found on the internet. This sample, or you could call this a special edition. I think this one was part of the special edition pack. It was only available at Foot Locker. And you could see a few photos here throughout the years that this one has been in the catalogs and on the shelf at certain stores. My favorite Air Max of all time has to be the Air Max 180. This is the Vintage Pack Retro from 2013. It is, in my opinion, the closest we've gotten so far to the original shape. If they're going to bring this one back, which I hope they do in 2024, let's get the original big airbag for this one like you did for the previous Air Max 1. And let's get that original streamlined shape with the little higher back. Original shape, the original Air Max sole, all the original specs to the Air Max 180 with the original silver Air Max box. Is my plea for the Air Max line is a recraft of the Air Max 180 for 2024. If we can get that one done, that would make my day. And let's see it, Nike. Let's see the Air Max 180 in the original shape come back. An honorable mention of a great Air Max. I usually collect original colorways, but when I first saw this released at Opium in Paris, France, and they had the worldwide launch at their Paris location, they came with the black 180 jacket, came with the shoes, came with this giant black 180 box. I wanted this shoe as soon as I saw it. One of my favorite Air Maxes ever created. I wouldn't mind seeing this one come back as a special release, as they did with the Bacon. The Air Bacon came back. This would be a great Air Max 180 to bring back to the vault. The Air Max 180 Opium with that camouflage, that neon green Air Max 180 air bubble, and this amazing leather material that they used on the upper. One of my favorite Air Maxes of all time, the Air Max 180 and the Air Max 180 Opium. Let's all celebrate Air Max Day by rocking your Air Maxes. Unfortunately, here in Winnipeg, there's still snow on the ground, so I cannot wear any of these mesh-toed Air Maxes out and about. Anyone who's got the Air Max 1 Big Bubble today, make sure you're rocking that. And don't forget that if we keep talking about the shoes that we want to come back, Nike will eventually bring back ones that we are all fighting to see. So out of the Air Max collection, Nike, I beg and beg for another Air Max 180 Retro in proper form with the proper box and the proper shape. Definitely the proper Big Bubble from 1991. That is my video for today. I hope you enjoy, and I hope you enjoy your Air Max and your Air Max history. And don't forget to follow me on Instagram at 4C23. And until next time, peace.